Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today I'm late. I forgot to record a video for today, so I'm doing it this morning, so it will be late. And I know some of you are going to think it's Friday and this video is not released until noon. There must be new yarn. There's not new yarn. I forgot. It's been a busy couple of weeks and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon because, you know, we're back in the school thing with my son. Like, I homeschool, so I'm busy with that, and I got a lot of irons in the pot currently, and I got some events coming up, and I have a lot of events coming up, so there you have it. I'm going to be super busy. And can I tell you, I'm really tired already. I woke up this morning, I was just real tired, and I didn't get out of bed till like 8:30. I was awake at 5, but I was awake to say goodbye to my husband when he left for work, but I went back to sleep and didn't get up till 8:30, which is abnormal for me. I'm just real tired. I'm real tired. So I figured today we would come on. I'm going to do a yarn swatch video. We're going to make up some swatches and we're going to talk. And the yarn that I'm using is I'm going to use the new Smash Cakes from Michaels. This is Karen Smash Cakes. I want to work up a swatch of the Macchiato cakes because I've had questions about this yarn specifically on my Instagram. And then I also want to put the black together with the neon because I want to make like a big wrap with these two together. And so I wanted to see what they both look like as swatches because the inspiration for this was the actual sign in Michaels that showed them carrying these two yarns in a project together. And I also have another yarn here because I was sitting here looking at this yarn. I was like, why does that yarn look familiar? It reminds me of the Serenity Candy from Premier Yarns. Just in the fact that it's multicolored and then there's a little bit of the barber pole striping. And let's see. The Serenity Candy is a bulky number 5. This says it's a 4-weight, but yeah, that's probably a 4-weight. It's only slightly thinner than the Serenity Chunky Candy. And it seemed similar to me. Is it me or am I crazy? Did they try to knock off something that Premier already did? It's possible. That happens a lot in the yarn world. So I'm going to work up a swatch with these two together on the table. And I want to work up a swatch with the Macchiato cakes. These all retailed, I think, for $12.99 at Michaels. It's been a hot minute since I bought them. I would not ever pay $12.99 regular price for all three of these. I always either buy it on sale with a coupon or with rewards points. Or I'm not, because I'm not paying $12.99 for a cake. It's not going to happen. That being said, these were all purchased with coupons, discounts, reward points. I think at least one of these I only paid $5.39 for. And you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Because I think $12.99 is a bit steep, but they are real pretty. Now the Macchiato cakes, and I have showed these on the channel before. The Macchiato cake does have wool in it. It is 8 ounces, it's 481 yards. It's a bulky 5. It looks the same thickness as the Smash Cakes. Hand wash, lay flat to dry, which I know a lot of you hate that. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. This is the color Glowing Grapefruit. I'm going to give my light a second to, there you go. That's very accurate to the color. It is beautiful. It is vibrant. And it's electric pink with orange. What more do I need to say? All right. So the Smash Cakes say that they're a number 4-weight. They are 432 yards. So only slightly less. That doesn't make sense. Only slightly less yardage than the Macchiato cakes, which is supposed to be a bulky 5. And usually the bulky yarns have less yardage per ounces. So do with that what you will. I know that acrylic is heavier than wool, but it's only 20% wool. So do with that what you will. They're supposed to be both 8 ounces. The 5-weight at 8 ounces is more yardage than the 4-weight. Machine washable and dryable. This is the color Turquoise Punch. That's pretty accurate. And then same thing, Smash Cake. This is the color, I think, Licorice. And it's just so dynamic to me. You're probably not gonna be able to see my stitches when I do this on camera, but I'm gonna do the colored one first, and then we'll mix that in together just to give me a swatch idea, because the wrap that I saw on the billboard in Michael's, I want to say it was Granny Stitch, and I'm not sure on that because I didn't take a picture of it, but I think I want to work up Granny Stitch and see what that looks like, or possibly I'm really thinking like Granny Chevron would be really cool. Like do a couple rows of the multicolored, a couple rows of the black, and alternate. So we're going to play with that and see what that looks like. I might hate it in Granny Stitch, and then where are we going to be? We're going to be doing something else. All right, the Macchiato cake says 6mm crochet hook. The Smash cake says 5.5. I have a 7mm crochet hook, which is going to be too big on my table. So I need to find an appropriate sized hook. And luckily for me, I have all size hooks at my reach. We got 5.5 in the glitter Omi, which is available on Amazon. And if you want to know where to find that, I will link it directly for you. Or, what did this one say? 6mm. This is a Merit hook, also available from Amazon. They don't make this exact colorway anymore, but they do make other colorways. And if you want to know where this is, I will also link that below. Just ask in the comments. All right, let's go to the table. I'm going to work up the Macchiato first, which is the bigger hook. I'm going to give you my opinions as I'm working them up, what I think, how it feels. I am basing my opinions on feel on the fact that I have a form of eczema that can cause blisters, itching, my skin to peel off. Some yarns cause rips in my skin. I have very, very sensitive hands. I also have sensory processing disorder, so some things feel extra icky to me, where it makes me cringe, or it makes me have goosebumps, or it makes my bones hurt, or my teeth hurt. And if you don't have sensory processing issues, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But rest assured, if I tell you a yarn is soft, it is soft. If I tell you that it's safe for me, it might be safe for you too. Every eczema is different. Every body chemistry is different. And so we might react to different yarns differently, but that's where my opinion comes from. So the softness factor and the feel factor is a very strong point for me personally. All right, let's go down to the table and we will work up some swatches. All right, I think we are ready to go. Now with cakes, I like to center pull, and unlike the new cakes from Premier Yarns, this doesn't have a pull tab. So I'm going to try to find the center and pull it out. Oh, I like that color. I like that color. Like, it starts off right off the bat, like really neon pink. And I do believe, where did I put my flashlight? I believe, if I recall, some of this yarn is actually, that is absolutely fluorescent. I know you can't see that on camera as brightly. It is absolutely fluorescing. Oh, come on. It is fluorescing. This lighter part here is fluorescing. It's really hard for you to see because of the angle of the camera that we are shooting in currently, but I promise you, this color right here fluoresces. We're working with our 6mm crochet hook. We might have to change because here's the problem. This is a wood hook, and this is wool yarn. And sometimes wool and wood are not best friends, and sometimes they are fantastic lovers. I'm going to say that. So, we're going to just work up a swatch. I do have a bit of a shake in my hand today, so try to ignore that. I am taking that into consideration when I'm making my judgment on how well this crochets or not. I do have, my hand's a little shaky today, but it is going to be all right. You know what? I'm almost thinking this would be pretty in corner to corner, right? This is not a tutorial on how to do corner to corner. I actually believe I do have a project that is corner to corner here on the channel somewhere. 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to check that out. I think it is a blanket with the Premier bobbins. And if not, Jade N Stitches has tutorials on how to do corner to corner, which is where I learned. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think because of the way this yarn is, I think it's going to be a color shift yarn. And I think the color is going to just fade from one to the next. This is my prediction. I don't know. And I think because of that, corner to corner looks really good with this type of yarn, because the colors will just fade across the blanket on a diagonal. And I really like the way that looks. Premier Puzzle yarn is really great for corner to corner. I mean, it's really great for a lot of things, but like I love corner to corner with a color shifting or fading yarn. So you can definitely feel the wool in this yarn, and it's not the softest yarn. It's rubbing me a little bit like right here. Long-term effects, is it going to irritate my skin? I don't know. I don't generally have a problem with wool long-term, however, especially if I just keep my hands hydrated. However, it still might cause irritation just because it's rubbing a little rough across my hand. And I noticed that with a lot of cheaper wool blend yarns. I can use superwash merino or Corriedale wools any day, all day long. Doesn't bother me. But some like cheaper wool blends that are used in these type of yarns, I have a hard time with. I can't use Fisherman's Wool from Lion Brand. I can't use Wool Ease from Lion Brand. Like, it bothers my skin. It feels a little too rough for me. And I'm telling you that because that is where my perspective comes from. If you can use those yarns, you're not going to have any problem with the macchiato cake whatsoever. I'm also not having any problems with splitting so far, and it seems to be crocheting fairly easily on my wood hook. It would probably be even better on a smoother hook like a resin hook. Felt a little snaggy there, did you hear that? So yeah, this does look like it is a color shifting yarn to where it fades from one color to the next. And I'm not mad about that. I love color shifting yarns. I love a good color shifting yarn. The next yarn that we're going to do, the Smash Cake, absolutely not a color shifting yarn. It's going to be so colorful, it's going to look like the neon rainbow threw up on it. And I know that because that is what the Serenity Chunky Candy looks like. However, I do have a blanket tutorial that would work for the Smash Cakes because I used it with the Serenity Candy. So I have a blanket tutorial using this yarn. This yarn's way cheaper than the Smash Cakes if they still have it, because I think this was either discontinued or it's going to be discontinued. I used the Serenity Chunky Candy with a solid in that tutorial, and I think it's the Boggy Creek blanket. And what I did is I did like 2 rows of the real busy yarn and 2 rows of a solid all the way across, and it breaks up the busyness, but it still adds an interesting definition to the yarn, to the blanket, the project. So that's why I wanted the neon, but I also wanted the black cakes to go with it. I think a number 6 hook works perfectly with the thickness of this yarn. Sorry, my crochet hook keeps hitting the table. There's all of maybe 6 inches between you and the table, and I know it probably looks like there's a lot more, but like, let's see. Well, there might be, this hook is about 6.5 inches long. There might be 7.5 inches between the camera and the table. Now the color shifting doesn't have to be in corner to corner. You could do any stitch and it's still gonna fade from one color to the next. but I find that when you're doing corner to corner with a yarn like this, it kind of makes the transition just look a little cooler when it's corner to corner. And you don't have to do corner to corner blocks like this. There is a way that you can do corner to corner solid, so it would just be solid like double crochets all the way across. That would be fine too. I was hoping we would get to the orange, but I don't see orange coming up anytime soon, and I don't want to make a whole blanket while we're sitting here. Just wanted to kind of make a swatch. Why make a swatch, you ask, aside from for the channel? And I'm going to recommend this to a lot of you, okay? If you have a yarn and it's been on your shelf for a little while and you're like, I don't really know what to do with that yarn. Maybe you're not used to working with variegateds, or maybe like variegateds confuse you, self-striping confuse you. I have a hard time with self-striping. I never know what to make with self-striping because I feel like it has to be a short row so that the striping goes all the way across, or it has to be like, self-striping is a hard one for me to work with. And I never can figure out what exactly I want to make with it. So the reason I make swatches, aside from the channel, and the reason I'm going to suggest to you to make swatches, if you make a swatch, it gives you an idea of what the yarn looks like in different stitches. You could try out different stitches and rip it out and try another stitch if that's what you want, to give you an idea of what it looks like best as. And there's a lot of YouTubers that do this. Creative Grandma, Glenda at Creative Grandma, she makes a lot of swatches in a lot of different stitches for that exact reason. She wants to show you what this yarn works up best like, and also to give her an idea what she can make with the project. And I think that's brilliant. You work it up in swatches and you're like, oh, I don't like the way that looks in that stitch, so I'm going to try something different. That way you don't dedicate a specific yarn to a whole project, get partway in and go, oh, that looks terrible, I hate that. Because that's happened to all of us. It has happened to all of us. You get partway and you're like, oh, that's not, there's too many color breaks. Like, there's too many hard color breaks. Or that doesn't look good with a Fair Isle style yarn, or whatever the case may be. So I suggest you to take your stash and, like, if you have a yarn that's been hanging around for a while, like this one, I wasn't sure what I wanted to make with it. And now I'm definitely thinking something corner to corner. Either a corner to corner scarf, or you could also take the corner to corner and make like an asymmetrical shawl or anything like that. It would be so pretty because the colors are just going to fade. One thing is, like, I hate when you first work it up and the holes are extra big, but those eventually close off. There we go. That's what's supposed to. Isn't that pretty? I really like the way that looks up. Now I do wish there was a little bit of peach starting to show up. We didn't quite get to the orange, but I'm definitely going to say corner to corner or something on the diagonal. A shawl. This would be pretty as a shawl too. A symmetrical shawl, or even like a basic triangle shawl. This would, I can't think of the name of it. One of my shawl patterns is Granny on the bias, and that would be beautiful with this too. So I'm going to keep this swatch, and what I do when I'm done with my swatches is I ball them up and I stick them in the center so that I know that I've already worked this up and this is my opinion on it. I liked it. Or I can use it for another project. Now feel, like I said, it was irritating a little bit just in between my fingers where I hold my yarn. And worked up, it feels nice. It feels squishy and soft. And I don't know that it's going to bother the sensitive parts of my skin. That doesn't really irritate me. I mean, if I start getting sweaty and I'm wearing this, it might bother me. This would also be really pretty in like one of my sweater patterns. Either the Spring Fling t-shirt this would be pretty in because it would fade from top to bottom, or the Autumn Sunrise sweater would be really pretty in this yarn. Alright, so that's my recommendation. I think the price is a little too high, but like I said, coupons. Coupons, people. Use your coupons. Wait for it to go on sale. And these are new, they're not everywhere, and I know people are going to say that. They're new, they're not everywhere. Alright, now we're going to pull out the Smash Cakes. Once again, I'm going to find the center. Maybe. Move the macchiato cake out of the way. Come on, where's the center? I think I found it. Wasn't too painful. Alright, now, this yarn is drastically different in the fact that there are very short color breaks. You might get, actually they look like they're different length color breaks. Yeah, so the pink, let's see if I can pin it right there. The pink kind of ends here, and then it fades into a different shade of pink, whereas the blue goes longer, so here to here. And then, let's see, let's compare pink to yellow. Yeah, so the yellow is shorter than the pink. And then we have some solid, so it goes zebra, solid, and again, the solid are not the same length. So the blue and the yellow are the same length, but the white is almost double the length of the blue and the yellow. And then we have a short blue, short yellow, whatever that color is, pink. Ooh, that color's pretty. Back to pink. It's okay, so it's very unpredictable what color is going to come next, which I think is fun. So what I want to do, I want to work up a swatch, I think, of Granny Stitch. I just want to see what that looks like. So I think I'm just going to do, I don't want to do a granny square. I want to do like straight granny. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the chain was the zebra. The first granny block was zebra, and then it moved right into the solid. 1, 2, 3. So it looks to me, for the most part, that every double crochet is going to be a different color. So it's going to be very, very busy yarn. And if you don't like that, you're going to hate this yarn. I think I also would like to frog this back, and I would like to work up single crochets to see if this yarn looks different. I mean, I know it's obviously going to look different. It's going to have micro stripes, like very tiny micro stripes. I just want to get an idea of what different stitches look like in this yarn. We're still in the non-zebra part of the cake. Oh, back to zebra. I think what really drew me to this yarn was the black and white zebra part, because there's a lot of hand-dyed yarns that I'm really drawn to with the zebra striping. And the zebra striping is just barber pole striping, except it's just black and white. And so a lot of times there will be small indie dyers that will do the black and white barber pulling base of the yarn. And so they'll be just like this. There'll be a section of the barber pole striping, a section of solid, a section of barber, etc. And when they dye it, it looks very similar to this colorway. And it's very pretty. And it is so, like, I don't know. Dynamic's the only word I could think of. Alright. There's our first row. So we had a little pop of zebra there, and then it's just the whole row was basically zebra. 1, 2, 3. It's weird because that first chain row was all the colors in zebra, and now it's just like mostly solid, except for those 2 stitches that were zebra. Oh, and we got some blue zebra. So I really like pink zebra. I really like that they have a little bit of the zebra mixed in with here, like the fancy bougie expensive yarns. Alright, so now this is a bigger section of the zebra. Alright, so what it looks like the pattern is color zebra, solid, a little pop of white zebra, color, color zebra. And this just feels very typical of a Caron cake. It's not uber soft. It's not rough. It's just acrylic. Alright, so that's the first section. That is very, very wild. You can't even tell that that's a granny stitch because it's so... Actually, I was supposed to go down a hook size. I would not use a 5.5 millimeter with this. The 6 almost feels too small. I think I would probably use a 7 millimeter with this yarn. Even though they claim that this is a 4 weight and the Macchiato Cakes is a 5 weight, I think this is closer to a 5 weight. And this kind of feels similar to an anniversary cake, but not as splitty. But I definitely think that I would use a 7 millimeter crochet hook as opposed to the 6 millimeter. And especially not the 5.5 millimeter crochet hook that they recommend. Alright, I'm going to attach the black just to see what that looks like to alternate between the two, because that was what I really wanted to do for this project. I don't know why that came out weird. Alright, so this yarn is very much long strands of black. And then every once in a while, the black and white zebra. Zebra, if you will. Every time I see a zebra at the zoo, I go, hey, it's Zebra the Deborah, or Deborah the Zebra. 1, 2, 3, because, you know, I'm extra. I also really, really loved Steve Irwin growing up. He was my imaginary boyfriend when I was young. I've always loved animals, like my whole life. I've always just loved animals. Now this black licorice color was really hard for me to find in store. You might have better luck online. It seemed to sell out really quick. And it's really like fancy looking for an acrylic. And it's definitely different from any other black yarn I've used. If you don't like black because you can't see it, I highly recommend doing a granny stitch because it's a whole lot easier to see what you're doing with a granny stitch than with a lot of other stitches with black yarn. Especially if you have visual issues like I do. I'm actually doing this without my glasses, so I have no idea how I'm actually doing it. But I think it's just from feel because the granny stitch comes second nature to me. I like that little pop of zebra. It's like, ooh, look at, there's something right there. There's something right there. Very dark though. I almost think I'm going to do another row before I decide. I feel like perhaps this would be better as a row of color, a row of black, a row of color. I really am digging the zebra in there though. Now if you got this far in the video, and it's Friday the 12th, can you just give me a little prayer for today? I need it. I got an appointment today that I'm really nervous about, and that's really important. And so, you know, if you're the praying type, I would appreciate a prayer. If you send out light and love, I would appreciate that. If you just positive energy, any of those things, I really, really appreciate and believe in all of those. So, Oreo's in the background snoring. If you hear that, that is Oreo. I have not actually seen Bentley this morning at all. I don't know where he's at. He's got to be outside. Alright. That is what that looks like as colored black and white. It's very busy. Some of you are going to hate this. Very busy. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that color back up because I want to see what this looks like. We're going to continue on the swatch. I want to see what this looks like as a solid. Like we're going to do single crochet. I just want to see the difference in single crochet versus granny. I really think the granny stitch is going to have to be one row of the color, one row of the black, one row of the color, one row of the black. Which is going to be a whole lot of carrying it up because I do not weave in the ends. That's usually why I do 2 rows and then 2 rows, because then you go this way and then you come back and then all your carries up will be on the same side. Personal preference for me though. Come on, it started to split there. Back to the zebra. Have you ever bought a yarn because it looks so cool in the cake and then you get it home and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with that. It's way too busy. Yeah, see, that's cute. It looks like bigger pops of color. Alright, I'm going to do one more row because the zebra is there of the color. And then we'll do a single line of the black across and see if we like it better with the single crochet instead of the granny stitch, because the granny stitch feels very, very busy to me. I'm also curious what this would work up as a hat, and I have other colors of this yarn because these are going in a project together, period. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be in a project together. But I do have other colorways of the Smash Cakes, so I'm curious what it would work up like as a hat in knit. I think it will look drastically different in knit. Yeah, see, that's knit. Still busy. Like I said, some of you are going to hate it. This is a nice soft squishy yarn though. I think this would be really fun for eclectic personalities like myself. If you're going to make them a blanket, it should be wild and exciting like this. Kids would probably love blankets in these yarns. I know I would have as a kid. Like, the more color the better. This yarn is loud and proud. I moved into the black. I switched over. And I know some of you are like, ew, single crochet is gross. It takes so long. It does, but sometimes you have to use the yarn or the stitch that goes with the yarn and not the other way around. This is definitely going to be an interesting project, whatever it is. I'm going to do 2 rows of the black because I want to see the black and then the black zebra mixed in. I almost like that better. Actually, I do like that better. Really don't want to make an entire wrap out of single crochet though. I'm definitely going to play with this some more before I decide on what stitches I'm going to use for the wrap. Because I really want to enjoy this as a wrap. I don't even know if we're going to get to the zebra. It's like right there. Come on, zebra. And I definitely think a bigger hook is better with this yarn. 6.5 minimum. 7 would probably be even better. Because while it's soft, the fabric is, I wouldn't mind the fabric being a little looser. Not so tight. Unless you have loose gauge, then feel free. Alright, we got to the zebra. I want to hear everyone's opinions in the comments of what you think, which ones of these you would buy. Have you bought any of these? What is your opinion? I would like everyone to voice their opinion respectfully in the comments. Yeah, the solid looks so much better. This is very wild. This looks better. Half double crochet might even be cute with this. I think the granny, it's just way too busy for the granny, but this looks real sharp. This is real pretty. Alright, so I think the single crochets is going to win for this one. I probably would do half double crochets, to be honest. I'm going to work up the half doubles and see if that makes at all any difference. Alright, so with the half doubles, it looks like it is changing color about every stitch. Like every half double crochet is a color change. At least right here. So we have a stitch and a half, stitch and a half, stitch, couple stitches. Whereas down here we had 4 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 4 stitches. With the half double, the color bursts are even shorter, so I'm thinking the single crochet is still probably going to be the winner, but I'm going to give this a chance and see if the half doubles work, because I would much rather use a half double than a single. A half double is like my favorite stitch. It's just like a taller version of the single crochet, and it makes me feel like the project is going faster than with single crochet. And of course, you could always do a mix of stitches on whatever blanket. Don't be scared to try stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying our little stitch video, our little swatchy poo video. I'm enjoying it because I'm having quiet time to crochet, and I haven't had a whole lot of that this week. I started my top that I talked about in yesterday's video for the concert, the festival, and I will reveal that, what color I picked, in a later video when that is finished, because I don't think that's going to be finished anytime this weekend. My weekends are really busy, like all the time. But we'll see. We'll see what we see. Alright, so that's the 2 rows of color in half double crochet. Move back to the black. The licorice. Dang, by the time this swatch thing is over, we might have a whole scarf here. I'm just going to keep going. Let's just keep going. We're racing to the end. And because these 2 cakes are connected, I'm actually going to frog this out and put it back in its place. But I am going to take a picture with my phone so that I remember what this looked like. What's the matter, Oreo? Cue Scarlet barking. You know, Oreo used to be the troublemaker, and she hasn't been barking for a little bit now. It's mostly just Scarlet. She barks at everything. And I'm going to have to go check on Bentley, because the fact that he hasn't been in this whole time I've been recording, and he's not even coming in now, I'm a little bit worried. I'm sure he's fine, but like I haven't even seen him all night. I know Mr. Cinnamon saw him when he left for work because he was telling him to go upstairs with me and he never came upstairs. But Bentley's just been not wanting me as much lately, and that's okay. I mean, he's a teenager now. He's 3. He turned 3 September 3rd. Ooh, I got tangled there. This is given 1980s vibe, like 1986. That's the year I'm thinking of, 1986. It's reminded me of something and I can't think of what. Takes me back to the day with the charm bracelets that all my friends had, but we couldn't afford. You know those little plastic charm bracelets? With all the cute little whistles, roller skates, bells. Ponyo's at the door. All the dogs are trying to make their appearance today, except Bentley. I'm gonna have to fire him. He's not a very good work dog no more. You're fired. Don't worry, I'll give him a severance package. Alright. So we got the granny stitch. Not a fan of. We have single crochet. I really like the single crochet. A half double is not bad. But I think the single crochet is the way to go with this yarn because it's so busy. So, granny, too busy. Single crochet, much better, much easier on the eyes. And then half double crochet, not terrible, not terrible. Might be okay in a big project, but I think the single crochet looks the best. It doesn't look so muddled is the word, maybe. What are your opinions? Which stitch do you like better? Granny, single, or half double? Because that double is not going to work, because double is basically going to look like this. It's going to be very like wild all over the place. What do you think of these yarns? Have you purchased them? Have you touched them? And the reason I tell you to put comments in the comment section below is because other people want to come here and they will read the comments to see what other people are saying. They want to know, what do you think of this yarn? What does other people think of this yarn? Is somebody else making something different with it? Has anyone else worked with it? Do they have opinions? And I am not at all affiliated with Karen or Yarnspirations, and I'm not a huge fan. It's not that I dislike Karen cakes. I just can never figure out what to make with them. So I have some because they're beautiful. I can never figure out what to make with them. But this one, because there was a swatch in store with these together, I was like, I really like the way that looks. And so that's where I'm at. All right, opinions. Once again, if you're interested in either of the hooks that I showed today, I will link those below. This yarn was all purchased at Michael's. And I believe some of these are showing up in Canada. I'm not positive on that. And they also have Big Twist up in Canada, which is crazy because Joann's was never in Canada. So check out your local Michael's store if you're interested in any of these yarns. And don't forget to give me opinions in the comments. And I will let you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.